Hi, so this is my process recording assignment, and I am the counselor. Marissa is the client. The agency that we're going to be working at is the Community Resource Center. Marissa is having some issues with the woman who lives upstairs in her apartment, who is also the landlord. So she's going to be kind of looking into maybe some different housing options. The reason that she needs help with this is because Marissa has high anxiety that she is not currently medicated for. So she is not confident in her confrontation skills. So to deal with this, we're going to be using some cognitive behavioral therapy. And we're gonna get started. Oh, this is gonna be our first meeting. So we'll go over everything that needs to be going over in the first meeting. Okay, hi Marissa, thank you so much for coming in today. It's so nice to meet you. First, before we get started, there's just a couple of things that we need to go through because you're new at the agency, you just started here. We just need to go over some of our kind of rules and regulations, if you will. One of them is called confidentiality. Have you ever heard that term before? Are you familiar with what confidentiality entails?
No, I've never really accessed like services before. So.
Oh, okay. So it's your first time really accessing any services. Okay, great. Well, we've got lots to talk about then. So confidentiality is just that kind of letting you know that anything that we talk about will only stay between you and I. The only time that any information will go anywhere else is maybe if the manager will need to kind of step in and give me a hand if there's like a certain scenario that you're dealing with that maybe I need some help with, like outside referrals or outside resources, and she can give me some of her experience and kind of help me with that. So that would be one of the only times that I would break confidentiality between you and I. And the other time would be if you were to disclose to me that you were planning to harm yourself, or that you were planning to harm somebody else. So only in those terms can I break anything that's said between you and I. Is that something that you're comfortable with?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have you sign off on some documents about that later. And because you've never accessed any services like this, we don't have to go over consent because there's not really anything that I might have to get to. Any other external documents, because it doesn't sound like you've accessed any services before. Should we get to that point and I feel like there's some information that I may need from somebody else, then I'll have you sign a consent form and we can go over that then. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit about what brought you in today?
So I live on a basement apartment.
Okay.
And my landlord lives upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
But she is really disruptive, and I'm in school right now, so I have to really focus. But she parties a lot. She's really loud. She smokes marijuana, so like that smell just goes right into my apartment. And I don't smoke, so it's really harmful. And it might sound a little stupid, but like my cat, like it hurts him too. Like he starts sneezing, I start sneezing. Like it's just like it's like an allergy.
Yeah.
It's like an allergy kind of thing, right? So that's a problem for me because I don't want to do that every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of anxiety just like around, just in general. I just feel anxious all the time, and I can't really understand why. It's not really, I don't know, I just like, it gets hard to breathe. I don't know, it's just like an entire thing for me. So I just don't really know how to like approach her and like what to do, because like I said, I'm a student, so I don't really have like the most opportune funds to go and like find another place to live.
Yeah.
So I just don't really know what to do.
So how long have you been living with your anxiety? How long has it been negatively affecting your life?
I guess like in like the last year, probably, because it's been like really bad. Like I wake up every day and I just automatically like feel horrible. And like even coming here was hard because it's just like I don't want to do anything like ever, so it's just hard to like get up and do stuff, which like makes school really hard, but I do it because like I need a job. Like I can't just not go to school,
Right.
So I don't know. It's been like a year though that it's been really affecting.
Okay, so it sounds like it's having a tremendous effect on your personal life, social life, and kind of your living situation. Because it sounds like you haven't really had an opportunity to talk to your landlord about what she's doing upstairs.
I mean,
And how
like,
it's affecting your life.
I guess I have, but I just don't like know how to do that.
Okay.
Because I don't know, she's really like outright and like really like not like me, so I don't really know how to approach it. That's just like a lot. You know, like just she's a lot. So like I don't want to go up to her and start talking to her because she's just like so animated, and I just like it's a lot for me.
Right. But her living situation is having a negative impact on your life, correct? Yeah. So it sounds like we should maybe try and figure something out to make that a little bit easier for you.
Yeah.
So confronting her, that probably doesn't sound like a very good idea right off the bat, does it? How does that make you feel when I say that about talking to your landlord and confronting her about the negative impact that her living is having on your life?
I'm really anxious.
Right. Okay. So how do you think would be some good ways to deal with that? I mean, I think it needs to be spoken about, right? Is moving an option first off? Like if you okay, so moving not an option, and continuing to live the way you're living.
No.
That's not an option either. Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we need to talk to her.
Yeah.
Right? So let's figure out like a slow and steady process to kind of working up to that confrontation. So how often do you see her?
Maybe like two times a week.
Okay.
Maybe.
And when you see her, is it just passing
Yeah.
in the
like
hall
passing.
or okay?
Just like passing on the deck.
Okay. And for not a long period of time,
No.
just quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there ever an opportune situation or opportune time where you feel like you could say something, you just choose not to? Like, is there ever a couple moments where you guys are sitting together for a period of time where you could have a conversation?
I mean, like when I come home on the weekends. Like if I'm just out and I come home on like a weekday or something, if I like went and got groceries or something and I come back on a weekend, she like she'll be sitting outside but she's like drinking, so I don't want to like talk to her when she's drinking because like I just don't want to.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, a lot of the times we have negative connotations with somebody drinking, so that's understandable. So what about first thing in the morning if you were to see her? Maybe when she hasn't been drinking.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I guess.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah,
And
I don't know.
so if you can imagine yourself confronting her for a moment, how do you perceive that happening? Like, what's the worst that could happen, do you think?
I don't know, like my brain goes like immediately to like, oh, she'll kick me out or something.
Yeah, but that's not legal, right?
Yeah, I guess.
She can't kick you out
Yeah,
for
I guess.
saying, I don't want you to smoke marijuana
That's true.
in the house. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So really, I mean, I just don't foresee that being, I think we always work things out to be worse in our minds than they actually turn out to be. So what if you say something to her and she says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that it was affecting you.
Yeah.
Right?
guess
That's a
that could happen.
possibility.
Yeah.
Right? So, and what about maybe making more of an effort to see and talk to her? Like when you do see her, maybe stop and say like, how are you today? And you don't have to actually say any more to her, but I think maybe the more interaction you have with her, perhaps the more comfortable
Yeah.
you'll get talking to her.
Yeah, I mean that's a good idea too.
Right?
I would be willing to do that.
Because I definitely think something needs to be said. Because if you're not comfortable living in your situation, something needs to be changed. And if moving isn't an option, right?
Yeah.
Then I think you just need to be honest with her.
Okay.
And let her know that it's making me uncomfortable.
Okay.
So let's try and figure out a couple. Oh, I can't see the time. I'm sorry, guys. Let's try and figure out some goals to set to work up to being a little bit, I don't want to use the word confront, but just speaking to your landlord about these issues. Okay, so step number one, let's say that just talking to her a little bit more. What's another thing that you don't like? So no, she's smoking marijuana. What else is going on in the house that's causing you?
She's just really loud.
Okay.
And she has parties a lot that she never tells me about,
Okay.
which is not only anxiety inducing, but
Mhm.
really frustrating.
Yeah,
Because,
that's understandable.
like, I'm in the basement, so I can hear everything,
Mhm.
right? Like, and she's not telling me about it, and that's just irritating.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
What about not doing it face to face, but writing her an email? How do you feel about doing something like that? Or like a text message or a phone call?
Maybe like, I don't know, maybe not a phone call, but maybe like a text message, but I don't know
Okay.
how comfortable I would be doing it by myself.
Okay. Well, I would love if you're comfortable with me giving you a hand with that. We could even like pre-plan it. So maybe like next time you come in, we'll try and figure out what you'd like to say. We don't even have to, we can just write it on the phone. We don't even have to send it,
Okay.
you know, but we can just, and kind of mentally prepare you for sending that,
Okay.
you know, because she needs to know you are her tenant.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not comfortable in the living situation, she needs to be made aware of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you're paying her
Yeah.
to live there.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's also affecting your school,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's affecting your cat,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, people's pets, I know my dog is like my child.
Mm-hmm.
So if you care about your cat the way I care about my dog, you know,
Yeah.
maybe let that be your leader then, you know?
Okay.
Like if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your cat,
Okay.
you know?
I guess I could do that. Yeah.
Like because if it's causing him, if it's causing him discomfort, you don't want him to be living in that situation, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not going to do it, or you're not comfortable, or you feel like your anxiety is too high to do it for yourself, like do it for him, you know?
Okay. I guess I
For
could.
that little
I guess.
furball baby.
I guess that's a better way to go to think about it.
Right? Okay, so let's make that one of our things, is that next time you come in, we'll kind of like write out what would be a good thing to say. And we'll kind of just think about writing it. And it doesn't have to be even about the marijuana if you don't want to talk about that. If you just want to say, hey, just want to let you know, like next time you plan on having people over, would you mind giving me a heads up?
Mm-hmm.
That way I can make alternate arrangements to stay later at school to do my homework or to go to a friend's house for the evening, you know?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, like, you would most likely have that consideration to say to her no,
Mhm.
so she should also have that, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that, and I don't want you to worry too much about any more confrontation than that, but I would definitely say make an effort just to talk to her more. That way you're more comfortable when you do have to talk to her.
Yeah. Okay. I
Okay?
can try.
And your anxiety, how, on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad is it affecting your life?
Probably like an 8.
Okay, so that's pretty high, right?
Yeah.
10 being the highest,
Yeah.
right? And 0 being not at all?
Mhm.
Okay, do you have a family doctor in the area?
No, he's in Toronto.
Okay, so he's a little far away.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in going and talking to your family doctor and letting them know? Because having to live with an 8 out of a 10 anxiety every day, it's got to be tough. I can't imagine how you feel.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe. Yeah, that's something again I don't know about. Like maybe I could call first. I don't know. That's like really anxiety inducing.
Yeah, just making that phone call in the first place.
Yeah.
That's totally understandable.
Yeah.
So again, I would love to help you with something like that. If you want to get the name, so why don't we make that your goal for next time? I think you already have another appointment set for next week. I think I saw it in my book. Okay, that's great. So we're gonna meet a week again from now. And if you want, bring in the number for your doctor and we'll make that phone call together. And during the week, when you do see your landlord, just if your anxiety is up to it, maybe make a little bit more of an effort to stop and just general chit chat with her. Hey, how's your day?
Okay.
The garden looks beautiful. It's raining.
Yeah.
You know, it just has to be like so loosey goosey. Like, don't worry about talking to her about any issues that are making you uncomfortable. And let's also focus on maybe just think about what you'd like to say
Okay.
in that text message. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So that's the end of our first session.
Okay.
So we're going to go with our plan,
Okay.
and then I'll see you in a week.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Bye.